as always, we have problems with audio with YouTube. I don't know why, but we start the program up. Sometimes the audio works, sometimes it doesn't. So I'm gonna wait till somebody filters in here so uh, I can get somebody and let me know. So we'll see what happens. Um, we'll play the Jeopardy music. Boop. Do 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 do. All right, Eric Von Addick, you're number one in here. Yeah, oh, excellent. That's what I wanted to know. Eric, you own your shit. Thank you, Eric. Love you too as well. Having said that, I'll go ahead and fire up the other programs. So thank you, Eric. Is that Eric? Eric Von Eric? Let me know. I want to make sure I get that 1930s Germany right. German right. Eric. Heil Eric von Eric. All right, let me get this going here. Or is it Eric? I don't know. Finally did it right, Tim. You know, you sound like my ex, but I don't know. I didn't do anything right. It's a shame this had to happen. I do agree with that. I absolutely do agree with that. So give me a minute, folks, to get my other streams up, and we should be going momentarily. It is a shame it happened, though. It is a shame it happened. But in my opinion, it was kind of predictable. I mean, shit, Minneapolis, 200, what do they have? Like 600 large, there's 600 Minneapolis cops. I looked it up. They sent 2,000 ICE agents. So you sent three times their own police force. Why? Why so many cops? What the hell's going on in Minnesota that needed a force that large? So we'll talk about it. But give me a minute to get this up here. What is her name? Renee Good. Yeah. Wow. I just said, and they obviously are not backing down. They're Christian Nomis talked about they may send more ICE agents to New York. So he's talking about potentially doubling, tripling, quadrupling down on what's going on. So don't expect us to get any better anytime soon. Okay, I get all my unbiased news here. Tim, what happened? I can't guarantee the news is going to be unbiased. I can guarantee more likely it's going to be uncensored, but I can't always guarantee it's going to be unbiased because we all have opinions, and I do openly allow folks to express their take on whatever various topic we're discussing. So can't guarantee you it's unbiased, but I can guarantee you it's uncensored. Like I said, Twilight Zone 2.0 bullshit, says Mr. Splackbill. Tim is so transparent. That didn't come out like that in divorce court. They're famous. Appreciate you supporting the program. Didn't come out like that in divorce court, but I'll take it from you with a bit of pride. Thank you very much. So I'm going to wait my other here. Hopefully this other live is giving me sound because I'm always having issues with one of my lives or another. But Eric Von Addick has been really good at letting me know. And he's letting me know now there's no sound on this one. Oh my fucking God. So give me a minute to get this last one up. And I thank you folks that are tuning in, coming in here now from both Instagram and TikTok. We're obviously talking about Renee Nicole Good, the 37-year-old mother of three, I believe they said. She's a mother of three that was slain by ICE officials yesterday. We're gonna ask a bunch of questions we're gonna cover on this. I'm sure everybody's seen the video by now. Everybody's seen the video. And even if you were living under a rock, it was probably televised there. So everyone's seen the video by now. What do you think? At this point, it's been 24 hours. MRS, murder or self-defense? M or S in the comments. Murder or self-defense? It's been over 24 hours now. Put M or put S in the comments. Murder or self-defense? I see a lot of S's. And I'll give you my take on it momentarily here as my other stream begins to reset, so I can get this last stream going and we can make this happen. But I see a lot of M's as well. Wow, I'm seeing a lot more M's now. But M or S, I see on YouTube is mostly M's. Red Rum says survive, which is obviously spelled murder spelled backwards. The officer wasn't in danger when he fired the shots. I've seen the video. We played it yesterday. I've seen additional angles since we played yesterday, and I do wonder if that officer walked away thinking, "Damn, I came close to losing my life." I do watch that wondering if that officer felt like his life was genuinely in danger, or if he simply took the shot, a shot that he was entitled to. Now, on yesterday's program, I referred to it as a free play, whereas if you're in front of a vehicle and a citizen encroaches and comes forward, by law, you can shoot that person. I believe you can shoot and kill that driver by law. Does that mean that you have absolutely no way in hell of getting out of the way of the vehicle? Doesn't always matter. Kind of like if somebody breaks in your house. Somebody breaks in your house, whether it's deliberate as a burglar, maybe they're drunk and they think your house is their house, that comes in the wrong house. Maybe it's a boyfriend coming in to see your daughter at her invite, but she's climbing in through a window or something like that. That happens. Sometimes a girlfriend doesn't want the dad to know she's sneaking a boy in the house. Under any of those circumstances, the homeowner can shoot and kill the person coming in their house. Doesn't matter if they know or feel that the person coming in is of no danger. Even if you know somebody's coming in your house is unarmed, you still can legally take their life. It's just, and that's the way I'm using this, because that's the way it is with the police. If they're in front of your vehicle and you proceed forward, they don't have to feel like you're really trying to kill them. They don't have to feel like they have no choice. They don't have time to step up. They can literally choose the option of killing you. That is a legal option they can choose. And it's not, and I seen the comments, Desmi said it's homicide. I don't believe it'll be ruled that way. And I'm saying that in regards to this case. In regards to this case, my belief is it will be deemed justified. It will be deemed justified. Simply put, if you're trying to escape from a cop in a car and one of them jump in front of your car, you got to stop. You have got to stop. It doesn't matter if you're 30 feet from him and he has tons of room to jump out of the way. He don't have to jump out the way. He can stand there and kill you. It's as simple as that. He can stand there and kill you. Now, in the comments, still dealing with this cold, so bear with me as I cough a few times. Toy says that's not true. Learn the facts. I don't think you even need to learn the facts. I think you can just pay attention to the outcome of this. You can claim learn the facts, but yeah, have you ever heard of anybody standing in front of a car with a badge and being held accountable for shooting somebody in the car if the person was coming forward? Have you heard of any officer getting in trouble for that? Ever? So my opinion is this will be ruled a justifiable shooting. But there's a lot more to it. The Trump administration having that as an ally in a federal investigation, and that's what this is, because they're not even giving the state of Minnesota access to what's going on. It's a federal investigation. They were under federal duties, operating under federal law, and the state is they're not even giving Tim Walz in the city government any access to the investigation whatsoever. So President Trump, Tom Homan, Kristi Noem, they've taken this close to the vest, taking it under their wing, and they're keeping it. And you already heard all three of their opinions. You already heard what Kristi Noem said. You already heard what President Trump has said. They already have written it off as justified. So you think Pam Bondi is going to prosecute? This is going to be justified all day, regardless of how you feel about it. This is going to be justified all day. Anyway, looking in the comments, Moose says, man, throw that ad away. So let me go straight to the comments and then to the box. If you look, the officer was on the left in front of the car before she drove, and he walked to the right of the car on purpose He didn't fire the shots until he was in front of the car. I get the semantics. I'm not going to pretend like I view this as the officer had absolutely no choice but to shoot to save his life. I don't buy that. But under the rules that there are, meaning that if an officer is in front of your car and you come forward, they can shoot and claim self-defense, and this is considered a legit claim, he's going to get away with it. He's going to get away with it. I hear folks saying, look, he was stepping to the side of the car already, fired the first shot through the windshield, stepped to the side of the car, and then fired the next two shots into the side window. I guess there could be an argument for that. But I would probably be willing to bet at least 2-1 that this cop gets a justifiable shooting. By the way, we don't block, ban, or censor. This is uncensored programming. Text us in the comments on TikTok. We're trying our best not to block you. You've made your point that you believe Renee Good is guilty. Typing it over and over again forces me to basically block you because you're preventing everybody else from putting in comments. You've made your point. You believe she's guilty. That's what we're going to be talking about. That's fine. But typing it over and over again with these huge flags and shit, calm it down. Anyway, let me go to the box. We're really trying to avoid blocking folks on an uncensored program, but when somebody's doing it like that over and over again, it is what it is. Matthew, welcome to the program. If it brings them up, she spent the entire day tailing ice. But does that mean they were in danger of being killed? You could tell if you were following the cops, I suppose they could get you with obstruction of justice or something else if you're getting in the way of what they're doing. But that's not a crime that is answered with lethal response. So I'll leave it like that. I tried to bring up my last caller. I'll continue on with Love to Cruise. Speaking of which, I'm going to be doing one of those soon. Love to Cruise. Good evening.
Hey, Tim, how you doing, man? Glad to be here.
I'm doing all right. I'm getting over the flu still every day, but
yeah, man. I hope you feel better.
I'm about 85, 90%, so I'm getting there. But you've seen the video, right?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
What say you?
You know what the problem is? We know he's gonna get off. I don't understand why he just didn't shoot the tires out or anything like that.
Because that ain't gonna save him. That if somebody, I don't believe she was trying to kill him, but I'm just gonna say if somebody is that close to you trying to run you over, shooting out the tire is not going to stop the car in time from running you over.
Well, the thing about it is preventive measures, and if we had to see them try anything but shooting her, it might be more acceptable. And I understand this is his life, yeah, and maybe you panic. But the thing about it that, where's the humanitarian in us? All the morals and us being humanitarians have left. This country, right and left side, have just forgot all about morals and compassion and empathy. We're living in dark times.
Ooh. Well,
we really are.
Well, the ICE agents are there at the behest of the president. I mean, the president wants them there. I suppose it's somehow tied into the Somali fraud, just literally drenching the area. Because Minneapolis, I looked this up earlier, the city of Minneapolis, which is a fairly large town, has 600 sworn officers. He sent 2,000 ICE into that town. So that's 3 times the size of their own police force. Any idea why he would send such a great number of them?
It's a bullying them, a show of force. That's what he's trying to do. And if he sets an example there, everybody else will fall in line. The same thing he's been doing with politics. And that's the reason all the Republicans are scared of him. I refuse to believe all the Republicans agree with everything he does, but they are scared of him.
Yeah. I absolutely agree with that sentiment. I don't think there's any president where everyone on their side and their party agrees with them. But I actually do agree with you that it appears as if most of the Republican Party is fearful of Trump. I do believe that.
And if it isn't him, it's the the MAGA, those idiots, and I've been listening to you about for another week. First of all, I really enjoyed Cal and Mike. They're probably the only ones that really come with facts.
Okay.
But if MAGA can't see that they're part of a cult, the way they move the goalposts, and the fact that everything he does, they have an answer for, and what's his name? Straight fucked up.
Straight talk commerce, I believe you're talking about.
Yeah, well, he's straight fucked up. I thought Mega Reacts was the biggest idiot, but we have a new one.
Oh my God. Straight fucked up.
Yeah.
That's horrible. That is funny, but it's horrible. But go ahead.
Yeah, we have a new winner. Straight fucked up he's the worst one.
Well, he has an opinion that might be slightly different than yours. I mean, look, he leans right. So you're going to hear a difference of opinion coming from that side. But and he definitely believes that what happened was justifiable, by the way. So and he'll be on here, I'm sure. And he probably will have a difference of opinion than what you're saying right now.
Well, you know what? I don't know with this. If I thought police or ICE or whatever is supposed to bring the temperature down, and shooting somebody doesn't bring the temperature down. De-escalate is what I'm listening. I thought they were supposed to de-escalate the situation.
Yeah, well, you can't always count on cops to do that. I mean, unless you never know if somebody feels for their life or not. Like in the comments, Corpseman Kind says the agents deserve to go home as well. He's saying that the lefties, the Democrat view of them is like Nazis. Is it possible that it is the rhetoric coming from Democrats that may be causing problems?
Some of it is. And I lean more to the left than I do the right. But, sometimes you have to look in the mirror. We're not with all out blame. You know what I mean? There is some blame that falls on us. And I think the sooner that we can be accountable for what we're doing wrong, then we can go ahead and proceed to help everybody else. But until you sit up here and blame the right for everything without actually looking to yourself, then you're just as bad as them.
That's a good point. So, I mean, because with them, let me just ask you this way. From what you've seen, do you believe? Okay, because the cop, the notion is going to be that the cop feared for his life. Do you believe, based on what you've seen, that this woman was genuinely trying to take that cop's life?
Not take his life, but I do believe she might have had a little Karen in her. Okay.
Elaborate.
They tend to think that there may be above, because this is the first time with an incident that I've seen with ICE, and maybe I'm wrong, and I'm sure you'll correct me if I am, that it has been a white person involved. And I think that she thought that since she is white, she might have had a little bit more leeway than just say a black person.
Mm. So then let me ask you this, Lutta Cruz. You're on the jury. This cop is fighting for his life. His wife and kids are there. And he's in tears, Kyle Rittenhouse style, saying that, listen, I didn't know what to do. I thought she was going to kill me. And I just had to stop her. I didn't want to die that day. Would you lock this cop up, or would you acquit him?
That's a tough one, because now you're asking me to read his mind.
And I guarantee you what I'm saying is probably somewhat of what would come out.
Yeah, but not anybody can't read the man's mind and know at that time whether he was actually fearful or not.
Brandon, thank you for the galaxy. Thank you. But I'm saying, if it came down the way I'm saying, Lutta Cruz, if this is what the man said was on his mind at the time he pulled the trigger, and it comes up to you to render a guilty verdict or acquit this acquit this guy. I cannot talk. Or acquit this guy. Which direction you're going?
To say he innocent.
You said he's innocent. You would render him innocent.
Yes, and there's multiple reasons behind that.
Okay.
If we're looking at it, the left, we raised hell with the right. What was that girl's name on January 6th?
Ashley Babbitt. Ashley Babbitt.
Exactly. And the right raised hell and said she was murdered and everything, and we fought and said that she wasn't, which I thought she wasn't. You know, I didn't think she murdered. You bust into there with the FBI agent, you're going to get pew-pewed.
Right.
Is this not similar?
Exceptionally similar. It is very similar.
Okay, so if I thought he was innocent, I got to think this guy's innocent also.
Yeah. I'm with you on it. I don't have a pushback. I see in the comments a lot of folks are disagreeing and suggesting that they are not similar. I would certainly would love to end up getting some of them folks on live because
I know everybody's gonna be mad at me, but I'm trying to keep it real. If I thought this guy, even though Ashley Babbitt busted in there, which she had no business doing, and he pew-pewed her, this lady didn't have no reason to run a car at somebody either.
Yeah.
So, and you have to think, if it's you and somebody is coming at you with a car and you have your pistola on you, what are you going to do?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it's kind of like what you said. There's no way to know what was on this officer's mind at the time she was coming forward. I mean, you see her in the car trying to back up. She puts the car in drive and she's coming forward and he is in front of the car. Not so much so that he can't jump out the way, but he is indeed in front of the car and she's heading in his direction. Does he have the time to notice her turning the steering wheel or trying to, dodge him or whatever the case may be? Is his mind well developed enough of what's going on in that split second to make that much of a judgment? And if not, do we want to throw this guy in jail for murder under that situation? I tend to feel the same way you do, Letta Cruz. I don't know if I could convict the guy.
And then, after ICE agents, how many of them are actually properly trained?
Well, that's a different story, though. If you go out and hurt somebody due to lack of training, I don't know if you still get a pass from hurting somebody. And not to mention the department, because remember, Trump made sure the family of Ashley Babbitt got paid. He made sure, because he believes Ashley Babbitt's killing was wrong. He wanted to take the pension of the cop that killed Ashley Babbitt. So he has a different opinion on that.
Yeah, well, you know what? We're not even going to answer with Trump, chump. I don't even call him Trump no more. He's a chump. We're going to leave that alone. But these guys, I don't have that feeling that ICE is properly trained. I believe Billy Joe and Jim Bob and up there in the hills of West Virginia fill out an application and they're, yay, let's go kill some ninjas. Let's go get them.
So you're suggesting that ICE is being operated by what amounts to a bunch of good old boys?
Oh man, yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
I know they're covered up, but how many of us you seen covered up? And you can still see whether they're white or black. You may not, how many of us you seen doing ICE?
Yeah. I don't understand one bit, or Betty, I do understand, but I don't believe it should be allowed one bit to have a police force roaming around with masks on. All of this bullshit, or they're scared, or they got families to worry about. Every person with a badge on has a family to worry about. I don't believe that law enforcement should be able to hide their identities, other than they may do something wrong, and you don't want them to be able to be identified.
Well, I think the guy, if we're just going by court of law and everything, I think he's going to get off. But this is nothing but KKK 2.0.
Ooh. People are not going to like that. You need to explain that.
It's the 2000s KKK. They don't wear hoods; they wear masks.
Ooh.
They're not at. This is, unfortunately, the lady here is going. She's a victim, but they're not after her.
Mm.
They're after immigrants.
Yeah, they are after immigrants. In the comments, hang on a second there, Love the Cruise. Jermaine75 says, Tim, can you Google the Department of Justice use of force policy strictly limits the discharging of firearms at or from a moving vehicle and read through that? Well, it's one thing to fire at a moving vehicle. If I'm chasing you on the highway and we're side by side, but if I'm standing in front of your car and you could run me over, I don't think the Department of Justice says you can't use force in a situation like that, Jermaine. I'd have to read through what you're talking about. I don't have time to do so now, but I don't believe it's that in. I don't think you're getting that one right. And Patrick says he didn't have to kill her. It looks like she was trying to scare him. If you try to scare an officer with something that could kill him, like a fake gun or something like that, they can legally kill you. Joshua says obstruction, resisting, attempted to flee lawful detention, then struck the agent with her vehicle. He is not an untrained guy. He's been iced for years. So, did she actually strike him with the vehicle, Letta Cruz?
No, I didn't see that.
I didn't see that either. But I heard he went to the hospital, which he didn't look like he was hurt at all, but I heard he went to the hospital for a checkup.
Oh, well, of course. I'm in a car accident. I don't get hurt. I go to the hospital.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, of course. That's what he's going to do. But I don't comment. Somebody said my remark about the Ku Klux Klan, but I'll still find her innocent. Still find him innocent. And which they're absolutely right. But the way they're going to tell you when you're in a jury is you have to look at this. Now, I can go ahead and say the man guilty, but what does that do? He's not going nowhere.
But you're saying even if you were on the jury, you would acquit him. You would not render him guilty.
The way they're going to word it, they're going to leave you no other choice but to quit him.
Yeah.
I
mean, let's admit the elephant in the room before moving on from you. She did commit a series of events that led up to her own demise. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, that didn't help.
Yeah.
That didn't help. So. We've been watching ICE for however long they've been around, and you got to know, or at least we're taught these things as black people, to follow the directions. Don't make it easy for them to pew you.
Yeah.
Because that's what they're looking to do anyway. So if they tell you to do something, just do it. Work on staying alive, and we'll work on getting you out later.
That is about as well said as I could ever do. Love the Cruise. Thanks for coming through, man.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. And that absolutely, the way he worded that is the sentiment, the advice I give all the time, is that at the end of the day, your goal, just like the cops claim their goal is to go home to your family. And I don't know how many times I've said this at the controversial videos, that you will never win an argument with a cop on the side of the road. I always say it's kind of like 1970s baseball. Before the invention of the instant replay, you would see a guy slide home, and he thought he was safe. The umpire calls him out. He's arguing with the umpire. His manager comes out there arguing. They're kicking dust all over the place. At the end of the day, what the umpire called is going to stand. You can argue until you're blue in the face. At the end of the day, what that umpire said is going to go. If you're on the side of the highway with a cop, I don't have to show you my license. I don't have to give you my name. I don't have to get out of the car. Whatever the hell you're arguing about, it's going to be just like with that umpire. At the end of the day, you're going to end up doing what that cop said. And just like in baseball, if you keep arguing, you're going to get thrown out of the game. Now, in regards to being on the side of the road, getting thrown out of the game could equate to getting your ass beat, getting taken to jail, or getting killed. But you're not going to change the call on the side of the road. And people continue doing that every day, arguing with cops. I got rights. I can remain silent. Am I being detained? All of this. You don't know if that guy is going to actually adhere to the constitutional rights that you provided. You may be 100% correct. Just like the guy kicking dust on the umpire might be 100% correct. But it does not matter. It's not going to go down like that. You're either going to accept the call that you're out and go back to the dugout, or you're going to get kicked out of the game. And I just gave you the clear-cut description of what happens when you get kicked out of the game. You're going to jail, you're getting your ass beat, or you're getting killed, or a combination of all three. That's it. Those are your only options. Listen or deal with all of that. Some might shorten it down to comply or die. Depends on how you want to look at it. Anyway, looking in the comments, and Hollow B says, y'all just accepting death. You don't have to accept death. You can go out screaming like everybody did in Grandpa's car. You don't have to accept it. You can't stop it all the time. You can't always stop it. Your goal should be to go home to your family. Simple as that. Anyway, look at it in the comments. We'll go back to the show. It's all going to implode. Good luck when your head caves in when you have to face yourself. Damn, Chris Davies, what the hell are you getting at? Tap the screen. I'll take the first caller at 10,000. I have the video. He was struck in the hip or thigh, says Joshua. Look, it's a justifiable shooting according to the way the law is set up. But I don't think this guy's life was in danger. I think if he genuinely felt his life was in danger, he would have dived out of the way of the vehicle. If a car is coming at you full speed or coming straight at you, shooting the driver is not going to stop the direction of the car. In fact, once a person has been shot in the head, their foot is probably going to lock down all the way on the gas pedal. They're absolutely not going to have the wherewithal to turn the steering wheel and avoid you. You would turn the vehicle into a speeding missile. So I never could understand why people choose to shoot the driver if they're coming right at them. Now, if you're in a park behind some construction site or some shit and somebody's literally steering and trying to effectively run you over, you're dodging, they turn around, they back up, then yes, in that case, shooting them would probably stop that. But if they're coming straight forward and you're less than 10 feet from the front of the vehicle, shooting them in the head is not going to stop that. Shooting the car in the tires, I've heard that. Shooting the tires is not going to stop that. The only thing that's going to really save you is diving the fuck out of the way. This cop didn't dive out of the way because he wasn't in danger. Real quick in the comments before we move on, tap the screen, get us up to 10,000, so I'll take the next caller. This is Uncensored Programming. We don't block, ban, or censor any damn body. We're always MAGA friendly, always have been MAGA friendly, always will be MAGA friendly. Nevertheless, liberals are welcome on the program as well. We go left of Bernie Sanders to I'm having dinner with Q. You can be critical of anyone on this program, including yours truly. That's how free speech, zero censorship works. Looking in the comments, what's your email? I can send proof he was struck. On the front of my page, the email should be there. Vita's Choice or something like that, Gmail. I would like to see it. Attempting to drive over ice is hazardous for your health. That is true. That is true. If he was so fearful of his life, why would he walk in front of the car in the first place? I don't believe it had anything to do with fear. I believe it was a free pass. He was given a free opportunity and he took advantage of it. Brandon, good evening. Welcome to the program. Now, Brandon, I'm assuming just like everyone else, you've seen the video, right?
I have seen the video.
Self-defense or murder?
I will go with murder.
Really?
He didn't have to shoot 3 times. Yeah.
Is she responsible for what happened to herself at all?
She is. Let me say this first. What she did was wrong. Yes, she went back, she went front, I get that.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, I have to say one thing before I go. Seeing that left and the right thing, at the end of the day, we all Americans.
Yeah.
And I'm saying, oh, your left will see it this way and the right will see it that way. At the end of the day, I'm just looking what I see. What I see was a lady who got scared. That's what I see.
If you're scared, though, why the hell would you park your car in the middle of the street and block a convoy of cops? You know you're going to invite them to mess with you.
I think she thought she can get away with it, like your last caller said. She thought she can get away with that because she was white.
I mean, that's literally the definition of fuck around and find out.
That's it. That's
My
it right
God.
there. Absolutely. Absolutely. And I want to say one more thing, another thing too. When it comes to Trump and Obama got rid of a lot of Hispanics. Close to it was a lot.
Yeah.
But he never used ICE like that. He never used the military like that. But he's got so many people out of there. Why can't Trump do the same thing he did without being so who he is?
Because this worked for Trump. Trump, his whole life, he's been a showman. He's been an entertainer. He's drawn large audiences. He's doing what has always worked for him. It's obviously dividing the country, very divisive to the country, but for him, it's always been currency, and it's still currency. It's still working well for him. But for us as a country, us as a united nation, it's not working at all. But for him, it's working.
And I love USA. Not just him, not just everybody. I love everybody else. So why can't we just get it right?
No,
I can't believe we're so separated with simple things. We got people out there that you listen to all the time who's going back for a billionaire, and they broke. I don't get that.
Well, I don't agree with it, but I do get it. The belief is, if you look out for the multi-millionaires, the billionaires, they will eventually turn around and look out for you.
Down.
Yeah, you hear you will hear folks on the right say, "I've never gotten a job from a poor person." So
it's never worked like that.
Well, I'm just telling you the mindset. I'm telling you the mindset.
I know the mind, but you know, and everybody else know. Even listen, it doesn't work. I'm a nurse. I've been a nurse for 15 years. Everybody at the top, especially with right now, everybody have to pay more for insurance and stuff like that. The people at the top making millions of dollars. Everybody under that gets nothing. But they still, we don't deserve that or something like that. I don't know.
Well, I would tell you,
don't think she deserved to die.
Well, as a civil servant, being a nurse yourself, certainly thank you for your service. We don't often thank nurses enough, but we need you guys probably more than cops. Matthew Donlon says, "Tim, I love your show, man. You and the guests are great. Thank you, Donlon, for the support." But yeah,
you really are. I've been watching you forever. And you're amazing, and I thank you. I thank you for listening to everybody.
That sounds a lot better than being called a libtard. That's better than being called a libtard or a sellout and Uncle Tom. I'll take it.
Grandma Mad, what's his name?
Grandma. Gangsta Grandma.
Oh my God, she kills me. She be so hard, boy. Like,
yeah, Gangsta Grandma is like.
Sometimes I agree with some things to say. I wouldn't say how she would say it.
Yeah,
but man,
well,
she's hard on you, man.
Gangsta Grandma she's passionate in her opinion. Like I said, I don't censor. So if somebody comes on here and they tear me a new one, sometimes they may be right. I get a lot of folks in the comments that are like, "She's right, you're wrong," and and then other times people are like, "She's crazy," and they're calling her toothless and all kinds of other shit. So. That's kind of how free speech works.
Going on. I don't care about that. Her heart is in the right spot, but to get it out, she can't. With love.
So 2,000 ICE agents to a town whose own police force is only 600 strong.
That's too many. And that's what I was thinking when you was on the phone. Yeah. I know who Trump is, but if Trump got on the phone saying, "Listen, we got to do something about all these immigrants. who are coming in illegal.
Mm-hmm.
Go to wherever he's going. Get with their police and him and say we can work together, and we'll go after the what he said he was going after the
Well, it changes. This has supposedly been about the whole Nick Shirley Somali fraud stuff.
I that one, but he's doing everywhere. He hasn't stopped.
Yeah.
He's everywhere. Whatever sounds good, and to me, to get rid of Epstein, period. It will never change. Every day will be something different. But Epstein goes away. Yeah. I will always feel that's why we're getting everything's going on to get away from that.
So you believe this is all? You believe this is all one big diversion tactic?
Oh, absolutely.
Well,
everything you let go, everything you is out to sea, is blacked out. It's blacked out.
Well, you can highlight it and put it on Google and still get to the bottom of a lot of that redacted stuff. The way they blacked it out was not accurate.
I'm about to do it. Thank you. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
And I'm about to do it.
Yeah.
But if he got with the police there and the ICE there, with the government, with the mayor, even if you like him or don't, get it together, say we'll get after these people the right way, not trying to kill somebody, not trying to come up, like you said, with your face covered.
Yeah.
Who does that? And on top of that, they're getting $50,000 to get with him.
That's crazy. You know something? Let me ask you, would you...
50,000.
And by the way, multiple choice ninja, thank you absolutely very much. Let me ask you though, for 50 stacks, 50 racks, $50,000.
I already tried.
You were going to become... So you were going to join ICE for that 50 G's.
No. I was talking to my wife, and I said, man, that 50,000, that look good.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Who does it not look to? It looks good to anybody. 50,000, I would take off my face though and show them who I am.
Oh, fuck that. If you go, no. If I'm gonna be ICE,
I would.
Hell no. You like to appreciate those galaxies. Damn, we're doing that. Gangsta grandma, really?
Because she's amazing.
Yeah, she is amazing.
Before she get on that motherfucker, I love her. But she wild as a motherfucker. Yeah,
Gangsta grandma is unleashed. I mean, she is always unleashed. She like a wild horse. She cannot be tamed. Let me say it like this though. For $50,000 and multiple choice thinking, you would actually become ICE.
Think about it.
I'm thinking about it.
I thought about it. I talked to my wife. Of course, she was like, "Man, come on with that." I thought about it. 50,000.
But
and then after you get down, you got 60. I think it's 60,000 for the year. Man, that's a lot of money.
I get it, but wait, hold on. No, you just told me, and I thanked you for your service. Goddammit.
I agree with you. That's why I said, people like me want to get down with the and try to change everything, but you can't. That's my mind. I know I can't change it, but I would like to. Like, oh my God, we don't.
Because here's where I'm confused. I thanked you for your service. You started out by telling me you've been a nurse for 15 years. How do you go from being a nurse?
You got a point.
Yes.
I thought about it. I didn't.
That's like being
I am a nurse.
That's like being a priest.
I am a nurse.
That's like being a priest and joining the Third Reich because they paid you money.
Hold on. I tried to be a police before the nurse.
Well, you could be a police to help people out. You're not helping nobody out being ICE.
Yeah, it's always to help out people, and that's still in my heart. That's all I want to do. Yeah. Is help. And in that situation, I'm not saying I will ever do it. Thought about it, but no, I wouldn't go down with that one.
Yeah, because being a cop, being in law enforcement, there's a lot of good things they do. But there's a lot of good things they do for the community. ICE, ICE doesn't have a good side. What they're doing, everybody they deal with is bad. They're not dealing with it. They're not helping anyone. Everybody that they're dealing with, they're coming to deliver misery to them.
At the end of the day, though, if you came in illegal, what else?
Soul attack.
What else is it?
Say that again.
What else is it? If you come to America illegally, we do have laws. Not saying we have to go crazy on them,
right?
But I'm saying you still have to enforce the law.
But that's not all they're doing. But that's not all they're doing, though. That's not all they're doing. When Trump comes along and takes away you gangster grandma, thank you. When Trump comes along,
grandma's on wild.
I know. I'm loving her. I'm loving her too. When Trump comes along and removes temporary protected status, or tells an asylum seeker that the court dates you had, we're going to wait outside of court and deport you. You're not. That person didn't come here illegally.
And here's the thing. You're thinking about Trump and where we are right now. I'm thinking over time, it hasn't been that way. With Trump, everything's different. Yeah. Everything's about him, how he feels, what can he take over. I get that. And he's not with that at all. And here's another thing, and it's terrible to say it because I know I'm about to get it for this. I don't think he is racist at all.
You don't think Trump is racist? You are going to get in trouble for that.
I heard you. I heard you yesterday. No, I heard you yesterday. And what I'm saying is, he wasn't like this before that. He had issues. Everybody can change. But when he knew if he changed and, hey, I got to go against these people, my money's going to go up. You got to remember, if you ever read his book, read his book. He tells you about it. He said it. If I'm going to run, I'm going to run as a Republican because they're stupid. He said it out of his mouth.
But that don't mean you got to come across as if you're racist.
Hey, is he winning? Did he win? Being this way?
We are tired of him winning. That's what he said. He's meeting his promise.
That's what he came in and that's what he do it. But what he got? He's made what? Over $5 billion?
The guy is doing well for himself.
About his money.
The guy is doing well for himself.
By the way, I'm gonna go right now because I'm at work.
Okay, well you definitely.
But by the way, before
I
go, I had a stroke and I watch you all the time. That's all I put one words up, something like that. I'm still working through it. I appreciate you. I appreciate you coming on and keep doing a good job.
You sounding well. Anytime, doors are always open to you. Thanks for coming through, man. Brendan, appreciate it.
Thank you, man.
All right. And straight choice ninja gangsta grandma. Thank you guys. Thank you so much. Appreciate the support. James Harper with the TikTok cap. The late Renee Good says thank you for the TikTok cap you put on her head. Too bad it wasn't bulletproof. Could have saved her. Anyway, look at in the comments. I almost forgot the Epstein files. That's the goal, is to get you to forget the Epstein files, is what my last caller was saying. Let me go straight to the box. And we'll make it happen with multiple choice. Gangsta grandma. What is it? Multiple choice ninja. Talk to me. Good evening.
Can you hear me?
Loud and clear, sir. Thank you for your support.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I was just trying to get in the box, man. Like, I'm ex-military law enforcement, so we're all trained pretty much on the use of force continuum, all pretty much the same. So, and a lot of misconception that we got out there is DOJ is the one that governs ICE. That's not true. It's actually the Department of Homeland Security. And while most
it's Kristi Noem and Tom Homan.
Right. But their doctrine that governs their use of force is actually the Department of Homeland Security doctrine, which most of it is the same. And I know there was like a lot of misconception about like shooting into a moving vehicle to disable the vehicle. Mm-hmm. The intent for this particular case, because I'm going to break down everything that I saw from a military standpoint and also a law enforcement standpoint.
Okay.
In this case, they weren't. The officer was not shooting at the vehicle to disable the vehicle. He was shooting at a threat that was behind the vehicle that was being used as a deadly weapon.
Yeah, I don't think I don't think anybody suggests he was shooting. Everybody believes he was shooting to kill the driver. I think that's pretty self-explanatory.
No, no. What I'm saying is there were people that were referencing the DOJ use of force continuum as if he was shooting at the vehicle to disable the vehicle or shooting at her, which was like proving a point that he was wrong, which isn't the case. He wasn't shooting at the vehicle. He was shooting at the occupant of the vehicle that was using that vehicle as a deadly weapon.
Yeah, I haven't heard. You're the first I've heard to even suggest that somebody even mentioned.
It's been all over social media and it's everywhere.
Yeah, that's stupid. I think everybody is certain that he was attempting to kill the woman. That's exactly what he done what he was trying to do. He was trying to kill the woman.
He was eliminating a threat. So like the thing is like verbiage is very important, especially when it comes to like the court of law and everything like this, right? So, and I'm not reading the comments because I've dealt with this. I've seen this stuff go pear-shaped so many times that there's a lot of factors that go into the pulling of a trigger, the taking of a life, and the use of force, right? Mm-hmm. So you have 8 preconditions of deadly force, which, forgive me if I miss one. It's been a while, but you got the self-defense, which is the inherent right to self-defense, which is yourself.
Okay.
Defense of others, which is his partner was in the vehicle with his arm inside the vehicle. You could argue that he was defending that.
Oddly enough, you notice the other guys didn't draw their weapons out at all, so they didn't see that.
Well, and that's another thing too. Is there's other things that go into play, like officer's perception and subject action, right? So officer's perception of the threat, and then
he clearly was the only guy on the scene that saw a lethal threat. The other guys didn't even pull their guns out of the holster. But give me the other 6.
Right. So he was essentially, from what I saw, because I watched the same video from like 5 or 6 different angles, and he was struck by the vehicle. Had he not moved out of the way, he still took like part of that bumper to the leg as he was moving off.
Right, but what I'm saying is it's pretty interesting that they're all that close in that close proximity with each other, and he's the only one that thought anybody was at risk of dying. Nobody else even pulled their guns out of the holster.
Well, and that's the beautiful thing about the use of force is not every officer will perceive the use of force the same way. Okay. And they don't have to.
All right.
It has to fall under, there's litigation in terms and actually how you're trained that have to fall into place that actually allows you to be able to use of force, whether that be less than lethal use of force, like tasers, pepper spray, a baton, or your gun, which is a lethal force, or a vehicle. Even, you would agree you can make a mistake when you think lethal force is necessary too, right? You can think you need to use lethal force and be wrong about it, right? Well, hindsight is always 20/20, and that's the problem. If you go back, there's a court case, Graham versus Connor, which actually frames this perfectly. It essentially makes it so hindsight is always 20/20. Looking back on, and I don't know if you're familiar with.
Yeah, but I don't quite. I hear what you're saying, but I don't quite get if you're answering the question. Can an officer feel like lethal force is necessary and be wrong?
It's hard to answer that question without all the elements of the situation, and it's called. What it's called is the totality of circumstances. So what happened initially to initiate that engagement between the officer and that individual? What situation put that officer?
I'm not talking about this situation specifically. I'm saying, is it possible for a cop in another circumstance of some sort to think lethal force was necessary and be wrong about it?
So it's possible for a cop to make a mistake. You're not going to catch me saying like a cop is infallible and they can't make mistakes.
You were kind of indicating that for a short time, but keep going. You kind of had me thinking that.
What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to explain that there is a lot more that goes into the use of force in a deadly manner than just, hey, are you right or wrong? There's a lot that plays into it. What about
the deliberately jumping in front of a moving car? Does that make sense?
Well, so like again, there's like 5 or 6 videos out there that show the same incident from different angles. And initially that ICE officer was behind the vehicle. He actually walked around the side of the vehicle and was moving towards the front. And when the lady was pulling off, she turned her wheels to the right and he was coming from that side towards the front. So yes, he was in the front of the vehicle, but he did not initially start out that way. He was actually in the back of the vehicle.
Okay. Now, I'm under the impression from the angles I've seen that he fired one round through the windshield and then fired two more rounds through the open window on his side. Did you see that? Did you see it like that?
Right. Yes. And we're talking about, and this is where it gets tricky because a lot of people are like, oh, he shot on the side and he shouldn't have done that. Well, in most law enforcement and most military even, you're trained to fire 3 shots, 2 to the chest, 1 to the head. If those shots go to the chest and the head, cool, great, whatever. That's what you're trained to do to eliminate the threat. And by eliminate the threat, I don't mean kill. Like, we're never trained to kill somebody. We're eliminate to stop the action of the threat that suspect or that subject is engaging in.
If you but if you're firing through the side window, what you were trying to stop has already passed. There is no more at that point. There is no lethal threat to anyone. You're on the side of the car firing in.
Okay, let me ask you a question.
Sure.
If I'm going to throw a punch at you and you can dodge it, but I'm fast and I hit you with 2 punches and you move off to the side of the second one, are you going to deliver a punch? Do you have time to make that decision?
I get where you're going. I don't know on this case though. I don't.
I'm talking about fractions of seconds here.
Yeah, I get what you're saying, and I've heard that before. You know something? That's one that I'm not totally prepared to just. I'd have to really sit with the rest of the jury and talk about that, because I get that this stuff happened in a split second, but you're clearly on the side of the car looking in, shooting her from a position of safety at that point.
But we're talking about frames of tenths of seconds. So even though it looks like he's on the side of the car, and that's the problem with still images. That's the problem with people that are not trained in situations of law enforcement or use of force or anything like that. They see these still images and they show him on the side when literally tenths of a second before that, he was in front of the vehicle being struck on the left side of his leg. And those fires, the shots that came out, yes, one went through and it even shows, ballistics will show he was in front of the vehicle. So he was in front of the vehicle. That vehicle did have forward momentum and would have struck him had he not stepped off to the side. As he was stepping off to the side, he fired 1 shot through the windshield. You know, I don't know if training dictated that he fired 2 more shots or whatever, but the threat needs to be eliminated, and once that action ceases, then use of force is no longer a threat.
And that's the way you're wording it is kind of what I think he was doing. I don't think he was shooting to save his life. I think he was shooting to eliminate a threat. He was shooting to kill her. He wasn't. It's pretty clear he didn't have a hard time stepping out of the way of this vehicle. It's pretty clear that he had the option of saving his own ass. That was not really up for debate. He could have easily gotten out the way. I think that he viewed her as a threat, and his goal was to neutralize her. He was shooting to kill. That's what it looks like to me.
Well, 2 things that can be true at the same time. He could have viewed her as a threat and also feared for his life. I mean, I don't know if you know this. J.D. Vance came on TV and actually exposed more information about it, but I'm simply going off of just the clips. But I guess 6 months prior to this event, that same ICE officer had been struck by another vehicle and actually had 33 stitches because of that resulting injury.
Well,
I didn't know that before.
Let me just say this: the Trump administration has been anything but fair and impartial on this. So when you bring JD Vance has no credibility in my opinion, because they've already called her. Trump called her a paid agitator. Kristi Noem called her a domestic terrorist. Only Tom Homan first originally said we need to do an investigation before we go into this. Everybody else in the Trump administration, they deemed him innocent and her guilty. So that's including J.D. Vance. So to me, there's no credibility with J.D. Vance.
Well, I mean, you can think of the person as incredible, but the information that they receive, you have to see if that's credible or not. And I haven't fact checked the information. I've taken it at face value. However, my basis and my determination based off of what the events were was not determined based off of what he said. Well, it's all been on those 5 angles that I saw, my law enforcement background and everything that goes into the actual act of pulling the trigger prior to. So like I was saying before, the 8 preconditions to deadly force. there's other issues at play there too. You have opportunity, capability, and intent. Did she have the opportunity? Yes, she did. Did she have the capability? She was shown to competently be able to maneuver that vehicle, drive it, and do it free of any kind of help or assistance. And then did she have the intent? Well, that's up for debate. Did she have the intent or not? But she did strike the officer, and now it's on the... She removed the burden of choice and gave it to the officer in that moment. Yeah. And that officer had to make a split-second decision because all of this happened within 20 to 30 seconds.
Does the fact that he could easily get out of the way, is that meaningless? If she's driving a car at you, which could be construed as a lethal threat, but you do have the ability to easily get out of the way. If you have the ability to easily get out of the way, but you choose to shoot anyway at what could be a lethal threat, that's acceptable, right?
It is acceptable depending on the officer, because the officer has no duty to retreat. Even though, his life might be in danger or whatever, legally he has no duty to retreat. Yep. And if he's standing his ground, also, and this is just a caveat, it didn't happen, but it could have. You never know. In the military, we're always taught to know what's behind your target. When you take a shot, you fire off or whatever, you have to know what's behind that target.
It's interesting you would say that, because his partner was pretty damn close to he could have shot his partner in that. I mean, he really could have hurt his own guy.
Yeah, but did you see the grouping? Did you see, he fired into the vehicle at the target? There was no deviation from his shots.
Come on, you're military. You're military. You know, rounds that go through windshields cannot be predicted in their trajectory. I mean, that guy's standing right next to the car. That round could go through that windshield and defract right out the other side where his partner is standing.
Off a window, not likely. Off of metal, maybe, depending on what it's made out of. If it's a soft metal, probably not. But if it's a hard metal, yes, it can deflect. Like a motor or something like that. However, you're also trained in the military. If you get in a gunfight, you might be right next to your guy. You just need to have muzzle discipline and make sure that you're not flagging anybody. And like I said, I don't know what his sight picture looked like behind the vehicle. So if he was taking shots and there was people behind the vehicle, that's a different story. I don't know, and I'm not going to get into that. But from the video that I saw and everything that kind of played into that factor, he took the shots and he was accurate in his shots, as we've seen. You know,
because
it wasn't like he missed. You know,
well, he didn't miss. I don't disagree. I don't agree. I agree with you there. But when you look at the shots he's firing, his partner is right there next to the woman, and there's another individual off to the back of the passenger quarter panel. All of them, to some degree, are in as backstops. Both of them are backstops.
Well, if you look at the video, they're not in his direct line of fire, and that's the thing. It's like, without actually being able to see the angles on ground or anything like that, close to you and me could be, you know, the difference between 30 degrees, 20 degrees, 10 degrees, whatever.
But that's why I asked you about a windshield. If you fire around into a thick windshield of a car and it doesn't go through at a straight angle, just if it goes through and bends even a little bit, these people are in backstop range.
Right. However, like, officers do have to take all that into consideration. Hold on one second.
I'll give you a second. She should have called 911 and called an attorney. She wasn't going to be given time to call 911 or an attorney. The guy was literally trying to snatch her out of the car, so that wasn't going to happen. These guys have less training than the lady that does my manicures. They are not officers. His partner literally jumped out of fear and panic. Wow. Thank you, Big Dog. Shout out to you. Appreciate that. Okay, go ahead. So you see this as completely justifiable.
Yes, and if you'll allow me, I'll explain in detail exactly why I think that.
I'll give you a couple of minutes because I do got to move on, but go ahead.
Okay, I'll be quick. So from the start of the video, all the videos that I saw, the vehicles are moving in. They're acting in the capacity of given to them by the federal government.
Okay.
They're acting in a legal capacity. She is illegally blocking their movement. So that's number one. She's already breaking the law. They gave her an opportunity to move. She refused to do it. When they told her to stop the vehicle and get out, she refused to do it. So now she is legally detained and she does not have the right to free movement. She cannot just leave.
True.
She has to turn off the vehicle. She has to step out of the vehicle and surrender herself to their custody. And I'm sure, like, ICE is not going to arrest her, take her to a facility, and put her in a jail cell. They're going to give her off to local PD. And if local
you don't
PD
know that, you don't know that.
That's the protocol. That's what they're supposed to do.
I
Now, if
mean,
they don't do
I
that,
get
that's
it,
a
but you
different
don't.
story.
That part, I agree with everything you just said up to that point. You don't know that.
Well, no, that is the protocol. Now, if they don't adhere to that, that's a different story. But we can't really. You and I right now on TikTok are not. We're not going to be able to speculate.
No,
on
we
that.
can't speculate. But the reason why I says you don't know that is because ICE has kept people in their custody where their family members couldn't find them. Hell, the people that were on Alligator Alcatraz, most of them, nobody know where they're even at anymore. ICE is known for keeping people longer than they supposed to, and some of them never been seen or heard from again. And some of them being American, being kept and detained like that. So there's no guarantee ICE was gonna just hand them over to the Minneapolis PD, is what I'm saying.
All right. Well, without knowing all the logistics of that, I'll just see that point and say that is what is supposed to happen.
Okay.
So with that being said, she should have turned off the vehicle, stepped out of the vehicle, and complied with the law enforcement agency or the federal law enforcement agency. At that point, she refused to do so. So the ICE agent, within legal right, went to go remove her forcefully from the vehicle. And yeah, it doesn't look good. It looks aggressive as hell, but it's legal. It's what's supposed to happen. If you break the law, you are not free to go. You need to remain on that scene, and you have to face the consequences of your crime. And so when he went to go forcefully remove her up from the vehicle, she chose to first, back the vehicle up, which put defense of others on the table for lethal force because the ICE member's arm was inside the vehicle. Now, this is all like what if or this could have happened or whatever. He could have been trapped. He could have been pinned. He could have been dragged. It didn't happen. However, it could have. And her actions would have led directly to that. And then she would have had another slew of charges. However, she chose to back up. Then she chose to move forward. When she chose to move forward, now she brings in self-defense into play. So now you have the right to self-defense and the right to defend others. And those are two preconditions to deadly force. And we've already established that she met opportunity, capability, and intent. So now, with the totality of circumstances, when she moved forward and she struck that ICE agent, he has now fulfilled deadly force continuum. He may or may not choose to use it, and in this case, he chose to use it, and that makes him completely justified. Her actions and crimes and her trying to flee her crime led to her demise, unfortunately. And at no point am I saying like it's a good thing that happened to her or anything like that. I think we can all agree that it's an unfortunate and a sad situation. And now 3 children have to grow up without their mother. And I hope to God that they learn about consequences and actions and lawful actions and things like that, because there are ways that you can do things legally.
Yeah.
You can go to your congressman. You can sign a petition. You can get things signed. You can go out and protest, and you can do everything peacefully. These are your rights, your inalienable rights.
Fair enough.
However,
And I think it will ultimately go down like that. I got to move it on, but I think it ultimately will go down similar to how you said it in court. I don't think the cop is going to get convicted of it, but I appreciate you coming through. Thank you for your support. Doors always open to you, man. Thank you for the explanation.
Man. Thank you.
Anytime. Multiple choice ninja. Moving on with the program. Tap the screen. Get the likes on up to 30,000. You can make that happen. Let your thumbs not be lazy. ICE was blocking traffic with their stuck car. I agree with the wording of my last caller. And I'll tell you why I say that. Because he does admit that by the actions of the woman, she gave the cop what amounts to an optional shooting that he could legally exercise. The cop could have dived out of the way, and they could have jumped in their cars and pursued her and caught up with her and arrested her. Or he could have shot her. Both are legal. That's my opinion. I do believe the cop basically involved himself in an optional, use of lethal force. I don't believe he absolutely had to do it to save his life or he was going to die and he had to nuke. No. I believe the law gave him the opportunity to, what she did by law gives him the opportunity to use lethal force, and he chose to do that. That would be like if you saw a teenager breaking in your basement. You know the teenager's not armed, but he's breaking in your basement. Maybe you got some tools or some valuables down there. The minute he breaks in your basement, even though you're 100% certain he's unarmed, he's now put you in a position where you have an optional shooting if you want. You can hold him at gunpoint and call 911, or you can murder him. Both are going to be considered legal. He's in your property. He's on your premise. You can legally kill him. That is how I believe the cop in this situation was confronted. He had an optional choice. His life wasn't in danger at all. He could have easily dived out of the way of that shit. He chose, as someone in the comment says, fuck around and find out. He chose to take the option of using lethal force. Gangsta Grandma. Good evening. Welcome to the program.
You are Uncle Ruckus, right along with the first fucking guest, Uncle Ruckus, the second fucking guest, Uncle Ruckus, then you had a white boy. Oh, it's justified. Let me tell y'all all your ugly motherfucking asses. Uncle Ruckus, motherfucking black men. I just motherfucking make this shit. Bow down. Yes, master. Yes, master. You know what? She was at her house, you numb fuck.
What?
And she was back. Yeah, she was at her house. Okay? She was at her house. She was backing out. Yes, she was.
Nobody
Don't look at me like that, you motherfucker, you.
Nobody believes
okay,
that.
I ain't your bitch. Now, let me tell you something, okay? Let me tell you something. And she allowed them to go around her. She had her damn thing down. She had, yes. If you don't look at all the videos, she did.
Gangsta.
Okay? And then, no, fuck you. And then she allowed them to go around her. And then when she freaked out, when the fucking motherfuckers started running at her, go look at all the videos. Okay?
Why the hell would you proceed forward when there's a cop in front of your car? Why would you do that?
She was trying to get away. Okay, Tim?
You're trying to...
These motherfuckers, they was masked up. I would freak the hell out.
You were trying to get away when there's a cop in front of the hood of your car. What do you think is going to happen if you drive forward?
He was right there behind. He was right at the thing, and he jumped right in front of it. He's a whole bitch.
You could hit it.
And then you know what's fucking sick about that white piece of shit? He took pictures of her body. Took pictures of her body.
Well, you got to take a picture of the
sick bitch. And you know what? I'm not even a white woman, and I'm going ham on for her. She didn't deserve that. And she was at her own house. She was a United States citizen. They shouldn't have been around her in the fucking first place.
Is it possible? Is it remotely possible at all that she could have simply have complied? They don't like you, but go ahead.
Comply for what, Tim?
Maybe she would be here today. Maybe she would be here today if she complied.
You know what? Let me tell you something. You know, being a black man, you could do whatever the hell you could comply, and you'll still be pew-pewed.
I know being a black man, that taking the route she took is the worst option available to me.
You know what? You could say yes, master, and still get pew-pewed. What are you talking about?
I bet you there's going to be more people.
Just like my brother. He did everything right and still got pew-pewed. I
can tell you one thing.
Man.
If I say yes, master, or if I do what she did, the yes, master is going to probably send me home to my family a hell of a lot more times than what she did.
But let me tell you, Tim, I'm so sick of you black, ugly men that bow down to the master and say, yes, you know, this is justified. You know what? I'm so sick of it. And you know what we do need, though? You know why we got the Second Amendment, right?
Yeah.
You know why, right?
Yeah, I know about that.
For the militia? Yeah, we got a militia of
okay.
ICE.
But I don't...
We have more of them. We have more of us than we have them. We need to rise up.
Let me ask it to you this way. Like now, my last caller, who you're calling a white boy, does he not have a point when he says there are legal ways to protest? What she did ain't it?
You know what? A white boy will always tell you, oh, there's a legal way. You know, I'm so sick of protesting. We don't get We don't get shit done. We need to rise up like Nepal did, and like other countries did, and we need to go and start. We need to start showing the fuck out. That's what we all need to do. Because you know what? Doing it the nice way ain't working.
So what are you suggesting?
We have a white Triple K in office that is trying to take over Venezuela. That did take over Venezuela. And you know what he said? He's going to get overseas banks and put the oil money in overseas banks. Not into the United States Treasury, but over in overseas banks, okay? He said this, and then go Google it. He just said this. And then he's the one that's going to manage it.
MAGA Reacts is saying if you like Nepal so much, why not just move to Nepal?
Why don't you with your white trailer trash ass? How about that? Because he's coming for you next, you numb fuck.
I don't know. You're not saying it as opposed to protesting.
We need what is that? The Punisher. We need a Punisher up in this bitch, okay? That's what we need. You know, have you seen that movie, The Punisher? Yes, we need that.
How do you respond to folks who might suggest that as an African American, your biggest threat is people in your own community?
You know what? I'm safer in the hood and popping them some bones and drinking some Hennessy than being around white teen men.
Are there really that many African Americans?
I don't even like your ugly ass. You're not welcome to my barbecue. Or the first two callers, you ain't welcome to my damn barbecue.
I love barbecue. Come on now.
Yeah, I bet you do. I don't do Uncle Ruckus's very well.
This has nothing to do
because you're like, yes, master. Get the white cock out your mouth.
Oh my. Are you, listen, you're not suggesting.
You know why? That's why you're still sick. See, I don't drink white cock. I don't drink uncooked protein. I never got sick. I drink chocolate milk. Chocolate milk's good for my bones.
You're not suggesting that whites represent a bigger threat to the blacks than the black community itself. I mean, the homicides in the black community are pretty damn high.
Do you realize, if you go look who's the unalivers, 99.9% are white tea. I'm good.
As an African American, you would have to admit your greatest threat of being violently assaulted comes from other black people.
If I'm in the hood and it's a black hood, there'll be a black victim. If you're in a white tea hood, it'll be a white tea victim. If you're in a Mexican hood, and I'm just using examples, it'll be a Mexican, okay? There ain't no such thing as black on black, Pookie and Ray Ray, okay? There ain't no such thing. It's just a white tea man that always does this. But if you go look at the statistics, Pookie and Ray Ray, okay, then it would be the white man is the most dangerous.
Okay.
I gotta be nice.
Yeah, I see that. I see that.
I'm being real. I'm not even cussing.
Well,
I'm saying white tea. You know what? The white tea man don't like me because I'm telling white tea facts. And if you go look at the statistics, it's proven. The white tea man pews up the schools. The white tea man is the one that's doing the hating crimes. That is it. And then you had the first one with the moose head. He's probably so ugly, he has to put a moose head on his picture.
What the hell are you talking about? What are you talking about, moose?
You're your first guest. You see my eyes? You see, yeah, I don't look ugly, so I put my face on it, okay? See, he has to put a moose because he's probably ugly. Oh, you know what? You can blame the left and the right. No. The white, no. The white, let me tell you something. You know who does the most hate crimes and who voted for hate was in the Republican Party. And you go statistically known, they have the most hate.
But I'm being told, wait a minute, I'm being told it was the Democrat Party that started the KKK and all of this shit. Oh my
God! Okay, let me tell you something. It was the Southern Democrats. Okay. They did start the Triple K, and then the party switched. But you know why? And then the black people back in our ancestors said, you know what? And MK said this. I'm afraid that the Republican Party is turning white man. Did he not say that? I didn't say the thing, but he did say that. And guess what? The Democrats, we switched. Now it is the black people, is the Democrats. The Mexicans and our allies, like the one that got pew-pewed, our allies became the Democrats, okay?
But you
That's
you
it.
would you would admit though the biggest obstacle.
biggest threat
Hold
is the
on,
white
the
man in
biggest
this
obstacle. The biggest obstacle to safety and the progression of the black man is another black man. Would you not agree with that?
No, it's the white team, man. You're not gonna blame it on the black people all the fucking time. You know what? Go look. And you know what? You know who is most in prison is the white team man. But you know who gets who gets not guilty a lot is the black man. They always want to put us and lock us up for petty crap. But for the most serious shit, it is the white team man.
Let me ask it to you this way: as a black woman, hold on. Let me ask it to you this way: as a black woman or a black man growing up in America, what is the white man doing to prevent you from succeeding to reaching the American dream? How are they preventing that?
Are you serious, Tim? Are you really serious, Tim?
I'm serious.
I know. Get that. You're dripping. You're dripping. Go get you a napkin of the white semen coming out your mouth. Go get it. Because let me tell you something. Let me tell you, there's still redlining. There's still redlining. And there, you know what? And let me another thing. Yeah, don't you do it because the banks got sued a couple years ago, Pookie. Okay? Get off it. Yes, master. Let me get the whip. Okay, because you like it like that, don't you? Get off your knees. You know, you like the uncooked.
I think what you're saying is bullshit. If you're an African American, there's nothing stopping you from achieving it. The white man is not stopping you from achieving the American dream in 2026.
Because sorry. I am high as shit. Systemic racism. It still exists. There's racism to this day. They still don't like us. Tim? Why do you think ICE is coming for us? You know what? Haitians are still black. They can't touch us yet because we're United States citizens. Oh, but they wish they could. You know what I mean? They wish they could. You know, the white T-man in office, what is the cornstarch monkey that's in office? Yes, he wants us so bad. He can't touch us quite yet.
Are you referring to our commander-in-chief, President Trump, as a cornstarch monkey?
Cornstarch monkey. They call us. They call us that, don't they? They call us the porch one. Yes, they do. And I give it right back to them. And you know what? I'm going straight ham on that white tea woman. She didn't deserve this shit. She did it. She allowed them to pass her. It was at her own house. There was another man that ran and said, "What the hell? You unalived my neighbor." She was at her house.
Was she obstructing justice in the middle of the damn street?
She wasn't.
Oh, come on. Really?
She was allowing them to pass. Let me tell you something, you uncooked, you fucking filthy ass. I can't stand you. You like it. You like it, don't you? You like the uncooked pork. That's why you're still sick.
She was obstructing justice, gangster grandma.
He ain't helping you, is it? You still, aren't you? That's what you're doing, huh? Yeah.
She was obstructing justice.
You need to get you some vitamin D with chocolate protein because it helps me, and I ain't sick.
Okay.
You know that? I get it every damn night, and I don't get sick.
Listen, I'm getting over the flu for some of you folks who don't realize that. But
you, the white man, won because
you cannot listen.
Yes, you and the two first guests are good at it.
What happened to Renee Nicole Good is a product of her own behavior. Why won't you accept that?
She allowed them to pass her. If you go see the whole video, she was allowing them to pass. And then you had numbskulls with no mask on running up on her trying to get her out of her car. She knew that she was a white woman. She was right there. Her hand was out. You didn't have to even pick her up. You didn't even have to even stop her. She was a white teen woman.
Apparently, she was actually following them. This ain't the first time that she was doing this.
No, Tim. That day, she was backing up from her place, Tim. And you know what was sick about it? There was a doctor in there, and they wanted to get to her. You know what? They said no. And then that guy kept on walking back and forth, and then took pictures of her dead body, okay? We don't know what he's going to do with the pictures, okay? And then MS was there. They wouldn't even let the MS to get in.
in a
And you know what? Let me tell you something. I am a black woman. I'm Afro-Latina, and I'm riding hard for this white woman. She did not deserve it. She didn't deserve none of this. I didn't give a damn if you was white, black, green, orange. They did not deserve. She did not deserve this. Now her baby is left because of what?
Wait a minute. You're saying she didn't. Hold on. You're saying.
Let me know.
Wait. Let's have a conversation. Okay, let's have a conversation.
Tim, Obama had higher numbers. Biden had higher numbers, okay? A black man had higher numbers, and they never had 2,000 ICE agents in one thing to get everybody out. And they did it with class. They did it with dignity. They had all their rights was not being taken. And they did it, and they got them out of this damn country. They're doing this because of hate.
You're saying, okay, hold on. You're just rambling on at this point. You're saying that. Yeah, you are.
How about that? You know you want to, but I'm too damn good for you.
You're saying that she had a child and she was a mother. Do you believe her actions yesterday were commiserate to somebody being a mother wanting to go home to their children?
She was backing. You know what, Tim? Being a woman and you had 3 damn people coming at you trying to open the door, and she did nothing wrong in the first place. She backed up. She let the ICE agents around her. If you go see the video, she allowed them to drive around her. Why would they even want to get her out of her car? She is American. She was white.
What does that got to do with it?
They had no purpose of being there, Tim. That's the purpose, Tim. See how you want to gag on that dick, Tim? Let's get really technical.
This is not about gag.
I can't even make the goggling sound because I don't have gag reflex. You're like this.
This is not about.
Talk out your mouth. Yes, it is, Tim.
This is not about gagging on dick.
They say that? Do you see that? Do you see that? That car, they was going around her. She was backing up. That's her house.
That is not her house.
Yes, it was. The guy came out yelling, you unalived my neighbor.
So you're saying
that was her house.
You're saying she just happened to be parking in front of her house while there's
she was backing out, and then she,
apparently, TikTok took down my guest. That kind of is common for Gangsta Grandma. Look, she's always welcome on the program. I'll go ahead and move the show on, but we don't block, ban, or censor. But unfortunately, sometimes the apps do that, and they just took Gangsta Grandma off the program. Looking in the comments, Minnesota didn't need them there. Yeah, did you hear the mayor of Minneapolis say, what was his words? ICE, get the fuck out of Minnesota. I believe that's what Fry says. Oh, please, your mods took her off, says Dion Denisa. Mods. Are you a comedian? We've been doing this for 4 years. We don't have a mod. We do not have any single moderator on this program. You are looking at the only moderator. The reason being, I've had MAGA, I've had independents, I've had liberals and progressives all offer to be a mod for this program. I don't want mods because mods are biased. Mods are either going to lean left, right, or in the center some fucking where. And mods will moderate based on their own political opinion. Hence, we do not have them. I want the program to remain uncensored. And the best way to do that is not to have third-party individuals making decisions. There is no fucking mods. Tap the screen, get the likes up to 50,000. We'll continue on and take the next call at 50,000. Tap the screen. Help your boy out program the TikTok cap goal. I'm still dealing with the flu. So bear with me. But Tim, bring up King OSA. I don't know what that. Big ups, gangster. What does that says? Big up. I didn't. Gangster Grandma every time says MFT Raw. No mods, perfect. Yeah, we don't have mods. We've never had a mod. I've been doing this for almost 5 years now. We've never had a mod. We don't have mods. You don't have to if for some reason on this program you get taken down, you're usually spamming. And I even announce on the program to the spammers, I'll call them out by name and say, I'm trying to avoid taking you down. Please stop spamming. Either that or you get a guest occasionally that just wants to type the N-word over and over again. In those cases, I might take a person down, somebody who's preventing everybody else from speaking, or the N word, which triggers the censors to take it down. So those two things. Other than that, we don't take anybody down. Mods, we don't need no stinking mods. I like that, Thomas. That is how we operate here. She hit him with the car after stalking him all day and refusing the lawful order to stop and get out the car. If the cops can show evidence that she was indeed following them around throughout the day, her memory is cooked. Her memory is cooked. I don't think the cops going to pay much a price already. But yeah, if they can show she's been following them around and shit like that, deliberately agitating them, things like that, that just removes whatever credibility her memory currently has. She had the acceleration because she was already dead. Yikes. Americans can't go nowhere around the world and feel safe. We're always looked at as a commodity or a come up. We get overcharged when we visit other countries. That's not true. That's based on the country you're visiting. As someone who lived in Australia for a number of years, been to New Zealand. If you go to first world countries, that's not happening. That's not happening. If you go to third world countries or developing countries, that can happen. But that's not unique to Americans. If you're Australian and you go to Fiji or some of the countries that they often go to, they get overcharged too. Same thing if you're from the UK or you're from France and you go to Mexico, same shit's gonna happen. It's not something unique to America. It's a first world versus third world issue. Let me go back to the box. Are we at 50,000? A lot of lazy thumbs in here. We should be around 60, 70,000. Tap the screen. Get the lights on up. You guys know how the program is ran. Helps out the algorithm, brings in more MAGA. By the way, if you enjoy civilized dialogue from all sides of the aisle, MAGA-friendly programming, liberals are welcome as well. If you're watching us live, Instagram or TikTok or Facebook, follow the program. Watching us live on YouTube, give us a sub. It helps out. We're here most weekdays. So the lady was in the wrong, says Tony. Look, at the end of the day, the lady was certainly breaking some laws. Were the laws she breaking worthy of being killed is what the debate is about. But she absolutely was, at the very least, obstructing justice. We'll go back to the box. It's hilarious. People think you're MAGA, Tim. I get it. I get a lot of MAGA that think I'm way to the left. I mean, look, when you're in the middle, everybody thinks you're on the other side. Dencal, good evening. Welcome to the program. Skynet needs to go online ASAP. Absolutely self-defense. Look at the video, different angle. She hit him. Self-defense or murder? Dencal, good evening.
Good evening. Good evening.
What are we looking at? I had a military guy come on here not long ago. Said it's absolutely self-defense. You're military. What say you?
I say if we're going to go by the letter of the law, yes, it'll be pretty easy for them to find it justifiable in court.
Yeah, I'm with that. I agree with that.
Now, whether we want to accept, the streets of America as having the same rules of engagement as Fallujah. I guess, you know what I'm saying? I guess then that's where we at now. And that's what he was doing. He was utilizing a situation where the cops there were many of them out there who were armed, were somehow afraid of a woman, you know what I'm saying, in the car on the ice, that they felt like she was somehow a threat to them in their lives. Like, I get it.
But you're comparing it to Fallujah. Is it really that bad? And Handsome Conservative says, support your local liberal. Take my money, please. Thank you. But Fallujah, that's a bit strong, ain't it?
I mean, he's breaking it down by rules of engagement.
Yeah.
And you also had a conversation talking about he had an option. He had an option. Yeah. Even if he did get hit by the car, his life was not in danger.
Yeah.
You're talking about, well, a couple of weeks ago, he got hit and he got some stitches. So he already know his life wasn't in danger.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree that
he decided to use her for, and they knew, and the strange thing is they knew it was a white woman in there. This wasn't no Hispanic person that they done made seem like they were the worst people in the world, calling them vermin and stuff. This was a white woman, and he felt the need. So, like, are we on equal footing? I find myself every day having less and less empathy for average, everyday people around the world. Like, it's just hard to do because every day we're just abusing people and we're saying, well, that's what the rules say.
Yeah. That is happening. I've never seen America in my lifetime less empathetic than they are now. I mean, I actually seen a picture online today, which was taken on the inside of her car. The airbags had deployed. There was blood all over the driver's side door and on the white airbag, just a ton of blood from her being shot in the head. And above the picture, I don't know I can't remember the guy's name, but I guess he posted it on some social media site with the caption, "I voted for this."
Right. I don't know. I was also having a conversation with another what I consider a friend of mine. He's MAGA, and I felt myself falling into the same type of ideology as him when he says, man, it's just too much shit going on. I just do my thing. I go to the gym. And I don't pay attention to this stuff. And that's how people of certain ethnicities have been thinking about the world all of this time. When let me speak for me as a black man in my mid-50s, I always had a certain empathy for people who I felt like, yes, maybe they did something wrong, but does that mean they deserve the treatment that they got? Like, but now I feel myself like, I'm like, my finances is good, my family's okay, I'm like, fuck them. But I never felt like that before. Like, this is some new ground that I'm starting to feel myself being part of the great American, the great American idea. Like, I got mine, fuck the rest of them.
Where did this come from? You don't put any of this on the president, do you? Because some folks are saying that because of Trump is why we're being so divided.
Well, I think it's not him. This has always been in people. He just kind of brought it out. He just kind of allowed people to be comfortable with feeling like that. They've always felt like that.
Whatever happened to the American mindset right after September 11th? President President Bush standing on the rubble of 9/11. I hear you, and the people who knocked these buildings down will hear all of us soon. And you hear everybody cheered, just the USA, USA. What happened to that?
Look, it's pick and choose. Because I just seen what's his name, Scott Jennings the other day. They was asking him on the anniversary of January 6th about, they were trying to have a plaque to commemorate the officers that, what I'm saying? Well, some of them gave their life. Eventually they committed to. There was a bunch of things that happened, but they were the ones fighting to defend the Capitol. And he says, well, it was a bad day, but we should just move on. Like, I don't like the fact that these motherfuckers always think they get to tell people when to move on and when to stand on. One time they're telling you, we'll never forget. And then the next time they're telling you, y'all just need to leave this alone. The President of the United States told you after years of looking for this pedo ring of these elites across the world, he was going to reveal it. Now he told them, stop talking about it or I ain't cool with y'all no more. And guess what they said?
They stopped talking about it.
They stopped talking about it.
How does one man get that kind of power, though, where even folks who are seriously concerned with the fact that young girls were raped and abused, this man can actually change it so that they're no longer they're really not that concerned about it anymore? How does one man get the power to do that? Certainly considering he may be one of the ones that abused the girls.
I don't think that he necessarily gets the power. I think it's a power that's given to him. Because we have the ability to stop what he's doing. But people who knew this about him, they heard the man say it with his own voice. I like raping hoes.
Wait a minute, he didn't say that.
Yeah, look, of course I'm contextualizing it, but
you mean to grab him by the what?
What did he say? He said I knew he said she was married, but I didn't give a damn.
Yeah.
Like, we heard him say this shit, and these people running around here, you got motherfuckers right now on this live that'll be like, I never heard him lie one time, ever.
Straight Talk says that. Straight Talk Commerce says he's never heard Trump lie in his life.
Yeah, like, but then they'll say, we got Trump derangement syndrome. Somehow we fucked up in the head because we don't believe this motherfucker lie about every goddamn thing. He got up there without an investigation of anything, him and Christie Nome, which anybody knows throughout American history, the president and the top legal people do not get on media and pronounce somebody guilty until they have gone through. What you know what's missing in political conversations now? The comment, no comment.
Yeah.
Nobody ever says that anymore. They got to comment about everything at the moment somebody asks them. There is no, well, we're going to let the investigation take place. I think what happened is pretty clear, but I'm not going to say
well, wait a minute. Tom Homan, he did say something like that originally. He's kind of walked it back, but he did originally say we got to let it be investigated. But he's seen his whole team is automatically siding with the officer and blaming the deceased. So, but originally Tom Homan said something similar to what you're saying.
Yeah, I mean, and we've seen it from day one. We've seen it the day after. What was it? The week after January 6th. The speaker goes to Mar-a-Lago and bends the knee and kisses the ring and comes back and says all is forgiven. Yeah. And just like that, all of those people who were like, this is bullshit, then it was like, oh, it's not that big of a deal. That they tried to kill actual officers who are protecting their building. They say, well, she went through the window, but she wasn't armed. Dude. He was literally protecting the Capitol of all of our lawmakers. He told her to stop. She did not stop. Now he had the option, and he decided that her life, that he was going to protect that building like he should have.
Now you're talking about Ashley Babbitt. For people who don't know what he's talking about, he's talking about the officer that took the life of Ashley Babbitt. Yeah, she was climbing through a broken window, and
with a mob. With 1,000 motherfuckers behind her screaming, kill everybody in the building. And they said, but no, she was a hero. She was a hero. She was a vet. What type of vet does not know that you cannot enter a federal building that's under assault with a motherfucker pointing a gun at you?
Well, you know, these white women are getting out of hand, huh? So both of these cases are white. You got to be careful about these white women, I tell you that.
These folks don't care, though, man. It is amazing they don't care. And it makes you wonder, like, what makes me care? And I guess it's like a life of growing up with my grandparents and my parents kind of explaining to me how society is set up. And these are things we've been saying about the government forever. They told us we was delirious. We weren't getting hunted down. We weren't being this. We weren't being... Now it's happening to them. And they still in denial. They're still like, well, you know, it was justified. You know, she kind of went at him with the car doing exactly 2.3 miles an hour.
You know, something like, I don't know if you heard my 1970s baseball explanation or any of that stuff earlier, but I absolutely agree with you and a couple of the other callers. It is going to be justified. I don't like it. I think the cop, like you admitted, I'm saying, and others said, the cop did not have to kill her. His life, he was not about to die by any stretch of the imagination. But the law gives him the right, under that circumstance, to choose whether or not to simply get out of the way and pursue her in his own squad car or kill her. He actually has the legal right to make a decision between one of those. He chose to kill her. He chose to do that.
His mindset at the time, he felt that he was in some type of Fallujah type situation that he felt like the first thing he needed to do, which if she's trying to get away, if she's looking at the guy who's trying to open her door, I don't believe she ever saw the guy in front of her.
Well, you're trying to get away from the cops, and in the process of you trying to get away, your negligence puts another cop's life in danger. It don't matter if you've seen him or not. That's all that's necessary. At that point, he got the right to kill you.
He does. They all are walking around. These people have the right to just kill people now. This is what the authority that has been given to them, and it's without discernment. And now we got all of these groups of masked people running around our cities and neighborhoods who have been trained to believe the worst in people.
Well, speaking of the worst, I got a guest in the comments that says she hit the ICE agent hard enough to put a dent in her fender.
Look, I can't tell you because I haven't seen the car, and neither have they. They are instantly out of thin air creating excuses to justify, which I don't believe is justifiable. Is it legal when they start talking about he has the right to not retreat and all that kind of shit? Like, that stuff is not supposed to be used. I don't believe it's supposed to be used in that situation. But if you want to apply it to the letter of the law, yeah. But what happens when somebody kicks in your door and without a warrant? Do you have the right to go ahead and knock them down?
Isn't that what Breonna Taylor's partner tried to do?
Yeah. And got off one shot, and they riddled that whole house and killed his girlfriend. And they still said, well, she shouldn't have been messing with no criminal. Yeah. Like that, and that's the way. Look, I'm starting to lean that way. I hate to be like that because, I still have my mother, thankfully around, and she's, in her mid to late 80s, and we still have conversations about the world and what it was like and what it's like now, and it's just a shame to see, like, I thought we had made so many strides, but this one person with his cult of personality has been able to just have people come out and, like, they'll just tell you. You'll just be walking someplace now and people will be like, you don't belong here.
Damn.
Like, who are you? Yeah. Why are you here? I'm talking about a dude delivering packages. Like, you can see 1,000 videos of people going somewhere saying, you shouldn't be here. A guy who worked for the gas department, what are you doing on the side of my house? Dude cutting somebody's grass. Why are you, who told you could? That people just coming out saying that you don't belong here because of what you look like.
I would be concerned. I used to do stuff like driving for Uber. I've delivered packages like you're talking about as an independent contractor. I would be very hesitant and certainly concerned to do anything that involves going on somebody else's property. Like you're talking about, all of those jobs involve you going on somebody's property. When I used to deliver packages for the company called Staples, the office store, you'd have to go on people's property. And, there are a lot of folks, a lot of fuck around and find out people that they see human on property, they think threat and go grab gun. I mean, DoorDash drivers have been shot. Uber Eats drivers have been shot because I used to do videos on them all the time. I even did a video of a guy down in South Florida, down in Opelika, where they took the Uber Eats driver in the house and hacked him to pieces and took him out in garbage bags. I would not want to be in any field where you got to go on strangers' properties. In America, people defend their property like it's actually their life. And you're outside. Motherfuckers getting shot through doors.
I had to tell my daughter, because the both of them, they were in college, and, they had been, hooked up with somebody who was like, hey, let's do Uber. Like, they was doing Uber Eats and stuff, because they was making a couple dollars, and they thought I said, no.
Yeah.
No, you cannot do that shit because it's all fun and games because you don't understand. When you see these people all the time and they be talking about this Karen in this video, think about it. She got a family. Yeah. She got kids that she teach that same shit to. She got a husband that believes that same shit, that you don't fucking belong here because, did you see the one video when it was like, oh, it's a Somalian guy who got a Lexus and he driving his Lexus down. How hell do he got a Lexus and we living in this trailer? Like, there's people that really believe
that's
your success is the reason for their failure.
Yeah, I have a personal story like that. When I remember when I was a young kid, 4 or 5 years old, my dad used to work at Illinois Bell in Chicago, and he had a it was a Mark IV, it's a Lincoln, a 2-door sedan. I think it was a Lincoln Mark IV, whatever the number was back then. We're talking in the late 70s. And he used to keep his hard hat. He was a lineman for Illinois Bell Phone Company. He would keep his hard hat in the window. And I remember asking him as a kid, why don't you take your hat in the house? And he told me, so that they'll know I have a job. Because of the car he was driving. My own dad told me that. Because we were like the second black family on our block. And I remember him telling me that I keep my hard hat in the window so that they'll know I got a job. Otherwise, they'd be pulling them over in the car. Like, how did you get a car like that? Now, the mid 70s was obviously not long after the Civil Rights Act. But to be doing this in 2026 is crazy work. It's crazy. That's 50 years later.
Right. And they getting more bolder and bolder. You know, just like what was his name? Ahmaud Arbery?
Yeah, down in Georgia.
Yeah, folks talking about what are you doing in that vacant house? Jumping in a truck, tracking them down like they was on some slave hunt. You know, and then they said what? The police came and said, oh, okay, and didn't do shit until there was a public outcry.
Yeah.
Then we saw the video of the guy who was with them.
I don't know why he did that, but without that video, they probably would be free.
Exactly. And people don't understand when we say these types of things, the reason why it doesn't seem like a big deal to them is because
they're not going through it.
Come to the forefront. When they said that stuff about what happened in Georgia with the police officer, they was like, that's the first time ever in Georgia history that a police officer has ever been convicted of murder.
And you know it's been happening.
I know that motherfuckers been getting their ass beat by police since I was a little kid. They would just try to run us down on the damn corner, chase us down, and if we didn't have nothing, they would whoop our ass for saying, they'd be like, why you make me chase you? Like, they don't understand people's civil rights are being violated, and then they say, well, why you running? Because I've got tired of getting my ass whooped. I get tired of seeing other people. When I grew up watching the Dukes of Hazzard, what happened when they motherfucking tried to ram the goddamn police with their car?
They just good old boys, didn't count.
What happened to the cops and robbers? What happened to the damn old gangster movies when they used to have shootouts and what they'd be like, oh, let their ass go. We'll catch them on the next go round.
Just some good old boys, never meaning no harm. Been in trouble with the law ever since the day they was born. I got to move on, Dink Cal, but you grew up in Georgia?
No, I grew up in Detroit, but I live in Georgia now.
Okay,
a small town.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to.
It's a military town, so it's not. You know what I'm saying? We got a mixture here, so I'm not exposed to a lot of.
No, I was just because of your age. I was just thinking if you grew up in Georgia back in the '70s, like I was in Chicago, I wouldn't want it to be a black man in Georgia back in the late '70s, early '70s. That's what I was.
Well, that's where they all fucking moved up there. Where we was at up north and shit. They was getting the hell up out of there.
Both of my grandparents are part of that. Didn't Cal? Thanks for coming through.
All right, take it easy.
All right, and that is the way things have been. I don't know why there are people in this country that have an issue seeing somebody of color in a fancy car, fancy house, et cetera, et cetera. And oftentimes it is the cops. How the hell does he have a car that's more expensive than I do? If you don't believe that happens, there are athletes, rappers, doctors and shit that are African American or people of color that can tell you it's happened. That can tell you it has happened to them. Especially some of these folks that are in the hip hop industry and they can afford a really expensive car, driving down the street in a Ferrari or some shit like that. You got cops that get jealous of that. You do have cops that get jealous of the fact that they're out here patrolling the streets, earning less than $100,000 a year, and this guy drives a car that costs twice as much as their house. There are plenty of cops that get jealous of that. Don't ever doubt that. These speakers lack objectivity, says Ottaway Rowan. replacing facts with moral signaling and identity attacks, functioning more like propaganda than honest discussion. Interesting you would say that, because your president has already referred to the deceased as a paid agitator. He has no evidence of that. Trump has already referred to this woman as the woman on the monitor, if my monitor timed out. But anyway, Trump has already referred. That's based on nothing. Talk about replacing facts with moral signaling. Trump is doing that. And by the way, before I came on, I did the research. What is it? 600 cops, 600 police officers, or 600 sworn officers on the beat in Minneapolis. Why send 2,000 ICE there? He sent enough ICE agents to equal 3 times their own police force. Why so many? Why so many? What is going on in Minneapolis that you need that many ICE agents? That's overkill. That's got to be overkill. They're going to need something to do. Looking in the comments, and I see Deuce says a message. Yeah, could be that. Absolutely. Could be some sort of a message. I don't know why so many, though. Straight talk. She drove into the police, and you defend her instead of saying she made a mistake. And it's unfortunate you blame the police for being the police. Who's blaming the police? I'm saying that the cop had an option. The law allows one of those options is to kill her. His other option could have been to dive out of the way of the car. He chose to stand there and kill her. Straight talk. Good evening.
How you doing? You look, it's a very simple answer why they sent so many up there.
Why?
Well, because the police there are not cooperating with the collection and immigration efforts. And that's the reason that Obama was so successful. We had the cooperation from every law enforcement agency in the country to get rid of these people. So, don't play. Don't play. I expect you to be more intelligent than half of the people that you bring up, because you got some real winners that you bring up.
Okay.
And I will say this, miracles never cease, because Denkow said something that I actually agree with, and he sounded 100% intelligent. It got me out of my seat.
Which was what? What did he say?
I can't remember. But, at least I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. Look, let me explain something to you. All of these police shootings and all of these things have one thing in common. I'm going to let you guess what it is, but it isn't race. It's not race. This is not a black-white thing. This is because when you were talking about the advice that your old man gave you, I closed my eyes and could hear my own father. And I am whiter than sour cream. You hear me?
I'm listening.
My dad gave me the same exact advice your father gave you. And I could hear it. It burned my ears the way it burned when you were saying it. It's stupidity. Those people were not raised properly. When the police, someone with a gun on their hip tells you to stop, you stop. He has the power of your life or death at that moment.
I agree with that. I agree with that part, but I
know you do. You went on. And this woman, this poor Renee Good, guess what? She was 7 blocks away from home. She didn't pull out of her driveway. They didn't bring this to her. She went and got it from them. You understand me? She went and picked it up at the UPS station. That's what she did.
Well, I'm not going to pretend like I don't believe that she is responsible for her own demise. I do believe her actions is what caused her to.
100% responsible.
But I don't look at. Hang on. I don't look at the video of what happened and think that, man, if that cop didn't shoot her, he would be dead. I don't buy that at all. I don't buy that. There could have
been 10 other people that died. He saved more than himself.
What?
That woman was. Did you see the rear end of the vehicle she hit?
No. Well, she was shot in the head at that point.
She had her foot on the accelerator.
She was
trying to get away.
A dead man with the foot on the accelerator is a dead man with the foot on the accelerator.
Two things. No, you don't know that. A. And the second thing is, how dare you think that you are better briefed than the President of the United States of America on any subject, Tim?
The President of the United States.
Where did you get off thinking that you know more about any subject on this planet than the President, the leader of the free world?
Well, I will start out by making sure I preface this and let everybody that's watching know you are the caller that states you have never heard Trump lie in his life. So before I respond to that question,
I'm waiting for you to give me one. I'm waiting for you to give me a lie. I challenge anybody. Go ahead and tell me the lie. Tell it to me.
Well, okay, so you guys in the comments heard that. Hold on, hang on. You guys in the comments.
I want to make sure everyone knows I have never said that.
You did say that.
You made that up, but I'll agree with it.
You did say that.
No, I did not.
Have you heard? Let me ask you now. Have you ever heard Trump lie?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure that. But okay, here's why. Because here's what you heard me say. Let me refresh your memory. Yeah, that's a head cold.
Everybody heard you say it, man. Everybody heard you say it, though. But go ahead.
No, they didn't. Here's what they heard me say.
Okay.
Here's what they heard me say. Your definition of a lie. I tried to explain.
Go ahead. I'm listening. He must have got a call. I'll give him a chance to come back.
My wife. That was my wife. I just hung up on.
Okay. Hang on before you answer. Before you respond. Soap water backwash. What hell of a name is that? Says, isn't law enforcement supposed to secure the scene and not leave it? Or is ICE immune to that? Here is a lie. Epstein is a Democrat hoax. That's a great one. There you go. Right. Do you think Epstein lists as a Democrat hoax? Okay, Straight Talk got another phone call again. Apparently his wife is trying to get through. I'll give him a moment. I won't just drop him. But sometimes you got a viewer on here and they go silent and his screen is blacked out. So apparently somebody's trying to call him. But I do want to, because he never heard. Okay, Straight Talk.
Bible. Sorry.
Okay, the Epstein files is a Democrat hoax. That's a quote from Trump. Is that true?
Yeah, I do think that the Epstein files, because look, I haven't found anybody in the Epstein file but Democrats.
Really? Okay, so you believe...
Name for me a Republican in the Epstein files, and then the president is... I don't know. The president he's seen all of or been briefed, at least been briefed on the entire file.
Okay.
So I'm asking you, what do you know that the president doesn't know? Here's what I'm going to tell you. Here's what I will tell you. I don't think you Democrats are ever going to believe you got all the documents until the president is diddling kids. That is the truth.
Do you think we've gotten all the documents?
No, I don't.
You do realize Congress ordered them to give all the documents in December.
I know that.
So what are they doing there? So why
you haven't gotten them. Here's why you haven't gotten them. You want to know why you haven't gotten all the documents?
Give me your take on it.
Listen, I'm going to tell you straight up, this is why. Because you guys move the goalposts. There is no proven. The president knows you will never have all the documents. You will always complain that you don't have the documents. There will be documents on Mars before you agree that you've gotten all the Epstein documents. Until the president of the United States shows you documents of him diddling children, you will not believe you got all the documents.
Why did he say earlier this year, toward the beginning of his reelection or early in his term, stop talking about Epstein? What was the purpose of that?
Well, because that was before he realized you're never going to be satisfied with what you find until he goes down. Until he's in a orange jumpsuit.
He was talking to his
matches his skin.
He was talking to his own party.
You're not going to be happy.
He was talking to his own party when he said stop talking about Epstein.
Yes. You want to listen? I have gotten thrown off this platform more times for talking about this subject. I see what you're trying to do.
I'm trying to show you the guy lies.
You know you won't get thrown off the platform.
Bullshit, I get thrown off.
Take the whipping. Not you, and you damn well know it.
Straight talk. I enjoy talking to you all the time. We're not gonna get you thrown off the floor, bro.
Yes,
Off the
you
platform.
do. You have gotten me thrown off this platform twice, and I am really important has gotten me thrown off at least 10 times. I'm telling you.
What the hell did I
one
do?
One of your listeners is going to report me for misinformation again because their little asshole gets chapped by hearing the truth. And that's what's going to happen.
Okay, straight talk. You know I bring you up all the time. I give you plenty of time to speak uncensored.
Yes, you do.
So I'm obviously not the one. I'm obviously not the one getting you thrown off the platform.
3 times. 3 times you did.
It got shit to do with
I
me.
have been thrown off this platform for 3 days, 3 times from talking to the handsome. I forget what is your talking to you, Tim. Talking to you. That handsome is a relative term, by the way. I personally believe it, but it's relative term.
Never heard the man lie. Let's get back to the show.
And I'll tell you something else. If that granny is a woman of color, so am I. That is a freaking white racist woman.
Gangster grandma.
Right now.
You're talking about gangster grandma. You see her as a white racist
gangster grandma. The woman that you talked about or talked to that has fewer teeth than brain cells.
Oh my God. Listen, gangster grandma is passionate about her
crazy.
Opinion. Okay, I don't know where to go with that, but I'm still in awe of you suggesting you've never heard Trump lie. That leaves me in awe.
No, I said I don't know because here's what it takes to be a lie. Do you know the definition of a lie? I've explained it to you before.
Not telling the truth.
Let me reiterate this so okay. your whole audience hears this. A lie is when you know the information you just gave someone is false information. So in order to be a lie, it can't be your opinion of something. It can't be your preference of something. It has to be a material fact that you know to be untrue that you tell somebody. That's a lie.
So when he gave his measurements at the time he was taking his mugshot down in Georgia, you think he didn't know how much he weighs?
Oh my God. Is that what we're...
Did he lie? Did he lie?
Yes, okay. Do I think that Donald Trump has never told a lie?
We're getting somewhere. We're finally getting somewhere.
If we were to go, look, if that's where we're going, yes, he is a lie. He is told a lie. Yes,
we'll take lion sack of shit for 200. Okay, when he stated,
wait, what does that say about you?
That I can recognize a sack of shit.
Point that finger at Trump. You got 4 of them pointing right back at you.
It says
I'm calling you a liar because I know that I have said some untruths in my life.
Okay.
So I'm not going to throw the stone at you.
All right. Also,
by the way.
Sure, go ahead.
By the way, let me just say this.
Dennis Calhoun, thank you. Dennis Calhoun, he said, was Trump lying when he said he grabbed women by the crotch without permission?
And listen, that 100% is true. And what he said is true. Look, dude, my wife and I work around a lot of actors and actresses here in California. Mm-hmm. My wife is at a movie premiere right now. Okay. There are people on this planet, believe it or not, a lot of them in LA, that will let you do whatever you want to them just so they can be close. They call them star fuckers. Just so they can be close to you. And athletes, ask any athlete. They got women in every city in the country that they play in. Tell me that's not true.
No, I know there's...
Why in the fuck do you think President Donald Trump, who, by the way, had his own #1 show on TV at the time, he was telling Billy Bush in that bus the truth. The same thing you and I would say.
The only way you would know that you can grab a woman under her clothes is you've done it before. I'm not going to deny that if you're rich and powerful, women will let you have their way with them. I'm not denying that.
Just women? It's not just women. It's men too.
Okay, well, shit. Okay, you want to go into some LGBTQ shit. But anyway, what I'm saying...
No, I don't. I'm saying women that have a lot of money, they get the same thing. Men don't turn women down.
But I don't believe the average multi-millionaire even puts himself at risk of doing, because that is rape when you're doing that. When you're grabbing strange women by the you know what and kissing them like he talked about in that After Out Access tape or Access Hollywood, that's rape. That is actually rape. Even if
it's not rape.
It's
not rape.
What?
It's not rape. When they acquiesce, when they ask for it, when they don't. I mean, it's only rape if they don't want it. Let me tell you something. I got my best friend in the world. My best friend in the world.
Have you ever seen a naked woman tell you, grab me by this? Nobody asked for that.
What?
You telling me a naked woman just grab me by my you know what? Nobody even talks like that. What are you talking about?
Damn, you got to be kidding me. Listen to this. Just today, I'm on the phone with one of my best friends in the entire world. He is a radiologist in Jonesboro, Arkansas. Okay? He's going through a divorce. His wife is about ready to take 90% of his money.
Yikes.
All right, yeah, it's bad. He calls me up today, sends me a picture of this woman who is a nurse in the same hospital that he works at. He says, hey, you will not believe what happened to me today. He sends me 4 pages of text between the two of them. She heard he was getting a divorce. It would make you blush to hear what this woman said to him. Get through this divorce, or I'm going to help you get over your divorce. And send him pictures. Straight up send him pictures of that, of all of it. I have seen all of it. Okay?
That's a good way to guarantee his wife gets the 90% if she gets a hold of the text.
Look, I didn't say he was smart. I said the dude's filthy rich. He makes $800,000 a year, and that nurse knows it. And she is saying, nurse, hey, let's get up, let's go.
The nurse might be working on behalf of the wife. You shouldn't respond to that shit.
Well, I mean, that may be the case too. That may be why she's getting the 90%.
Yeah, you gonna guarantee she get the 90% if that shit come out.
The point remains. There are men and women on this planet that will gladly do anything you want for power or money. You have to know that. You are as old as I am.
I'm not, listen, I don't, as we used to say back in the day, I don't pimp a few hoes in my day, but I don't, even in some of the worst locker room talk, what he is talking about doing, we don't normally, that is rape. It really is. I mean, if a woman, hear me out. If a woman asks you to do what he claims she asked you to do, you don't have that shit in writing or something. Like if she come back later on and report that you grabbed her like that, you going down for that.
And guess what? I got news for you. Ask Justice Kavanaugh that you don't even have to do it. You don't have to talk about it. People will come out of the woodwork and they will start suing you for that. That woman that Trump was accused of doing all that to at the department store, you don't think he actually had anything to do with that woman, do you?
I know anytime the man can't even identify his grape victim from his own damn ex-wife, something is wrong.
He didn't do jack shit to that woman. And there were cameras in that Bergdorf Goodman since 1973. So don't stop.
For you to,
there are women, there are men that will sue you, will blame you, will do things to you. Especially this woman was mentally ill.
Here's the problem, though. Here's the problem, straight talk. This woman wrote a book detailing what Trump did to her. She was not trying to sue him. She was not trying to get paid from it. She wrote a book detailing what Trump did. Trump was the one that came out and said her book was full of shit and started defaming her and calling. Hang on. He started defaming her, calling her a fat pig and saying I would never touch her. So she sued him for defamation and won $5 million. He continued doing it. She sued him again and won $88 million. She was never coming after him for that at all. But E. Jean Carroll, she was never coming after him.
No.
She was.
She ain't gonna get a dime of that money because it's all made up.
But what I'm saying is, I'm
telling you.
What I'm saying is, she looks more authentic because even though she said it happened, she was not trying to pursue him. He was the one that was making all this think about how ugly she was and how he never would touch her, and that's where it ended up going before civil court and saying, well, she has enough information that we're going to allow the courts to decide whether he did it or not. And then he can't even recognize them.
And they got 12 people that hate Trump enough Just like they got 12 people that would let OJ go from killing somebody, Robert Blake let him go from killing somebody. That stuff happens all the time. Doesn't mean it's true.
Here's the problem, though.
The fallen world you live in.
Here's the problem, though. You're telling everybody you would never have anything to do with this woman. She's ugly. She's a fat pig. And then when they put her photo before you, that's my ex-wife. No, this is the woman you said you wouldn't touch. You don't even know what the hell she looked like, but you want to convince us you never touched her. You're thinking that she looked like your damn ex-wife.
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about at this point.
Okay. All right. You got to go look in the case.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay.
If you had me on the jury, you would have gotten a different result.
I'm sure we would have.
Yeah, you would have totally. You would have been going home broke. You wouldn't have even had Church's chicken for dinner. You'd have been broke as hell. I love America because we love giving away other people's money. We just love to do it. It's your money. I'm gonna take you down. And I'll tell you something else about Democrats.
Wait. Speak when you say giving away other people's money. How are you? Do you feel the same way when Trump is getting all this money from elite universities and suing law firms and suing networks? Do you feel the same way that we love giving people's money out?
Listen, if you're going to talk shit, and if you're going to try and destroy someone, wait. You said it's good for the goose. Why is it not good for the gander? Now, this is what I'm talking about with you. You don't have a position. You can just move those goalposts out of the way. Here's another thing, too. You Democrats, I'm talking to you Democrats. You hire the most broke dick people to represent you. Then they get in office and come out rich. Rich as shit.
Okay. And meanwhile,
you will hire the least competent, brokest sons of bitches and tell them, go to Washington. And when they rake the money in, you guys stand back and just take it.
Meanwhile, you're giving us a perfect description of how wealthy Trump has gotten since he's been in the White House. You're literally describing the president.
Yeah, he was rich before you guys started in on him. He was a billionaire. Then you guys started coming after him for every dime he ever had. Then he started suing you and winning every time. ABC, George Stephanopoulos gives him some money. ABC gives him some money. Y'all can't stop giving this man money.
No, the man can't stop suing everybody. I gotta move it on as always, straight talk.
No.
I do gotta move it on.
Please.
I'll give you a quick 60 seconds. Go.
Listen, you can't do this, man. Not and maintain a decent channel. You bring up every moron on the planet. You start peppering me with questions. I don't even talk to you about what I wanted to talk to you about.
Because you're defending bullshit all the time.
How do you feel now about Venezuela? Now that we know that the person he put in charge of Venezuela has been working with the U.S. government for a year on getting out Maduro. How do you feel about it now?
I'm going to tell you the same thing I say anytime something comes from the Trump administration. I don't wholeheartedly, this is where you and I are arguing back and forth on whether he's lied or not. I don't wholeheartedly trust information when the only source is Trump.
Let's look at the evidence. Okay? We had 7 people injured in this operation. 5 of them are already home. 2 of them still in the hospital.
What does it got to do with this?
Well, we invaded another country, snatched up their president in the middle of the night. We had to be working with somebody, don't you think?
Yeah, I agree with that. I gotta go. I gotta go. I'll talk about it on the other side, but by the way, he is right about that. I believe that the Trump administration had released information that the CIA had been authorized to operate within their country. And I do agree with him on that it was too easy to take out the head of Venezuela. The only way you could take out somebody at that level is there was a lot of behind-the-scenes cooperation. Was it the current vice president in charge of the country? I'm not sure. I believe it was her, but they clearly were working with people on the inside. I definitely believe that part of it. I definitely believe that there's no way we would have been able to do that with only 30 or 40 casualties. You know, we killed 30 or 40 Cuban mercenaries and was able to take out the president of Venezuela. Yeah, CIA is working in the country, paying off people, paying off snitches, getting surveillance. I believe that. I believe that. Don't you listen to him. It's hard being handsome. I know. I would know. Take my money, please. Handsome conservative, you are killing me. Killing me. Looking in the comments, but don't be surprised if he pardons the president all the scam. You think he may pardon Maduro? That I don't expect. That I don't expect. I think Maduro will be incarcerated for the rest of his life because a Democrat follow-up ain't gonna pardon Maduro either. Maduro is a bad guy. Both administrations believe Maduro is a bad guy. So that ain't. I don't think that's going to change. So yeah, Maduro is gone, likely for the rest of his life. Anyway, looking in the comments, a lot of lazy fingers in here. Now we should have been well over 100,000 by now. We're talking about Renee Nicole Good killed by ICE in Minneapolis yesterday. Was it a case of self-defense or was it cold-blooded murder? Or there are gray areas. There are gray areas because that's where my analysis on this falls, is that I believe there is a legitimate case for self-defense that can be made based on a law that's in place. But at the same time, I believe it was optional. I don't believe that cop was faced with one or two choices. Either shoot her or face grievous bodily harm from getting ran over by a car. I believe that officer could have easily stepped out of the way, but the law says if his life is in danger at any, by even the wildest stretch of imagination, he can shoot and kill her, and he chose to do it. To me, it was an optional use of lethal force, very similar to the drug boats that Trump is blowing up off the coast of Venezuela. There's all kinds of other options. He chose to use lethal force. And I believe that's what happened here in this case, is that he chose to use lethal force. I believe he could have easily, I don't see that video and think that if he didn't shoot her, he would be dead. Does anybody see it that way? Yes or no in the comments. How many of you believe that if he didn't shoot her, he was about to be ran over and killed? That he had no choice, no option to dodge or get out the way? How many of you believe that? Yes or no? He had no choice but to shoot her or face grievous bodily harm. How many of you see it that way? Because I absolutely believe the guy could have easily jumped out of the way. Real quick in the comments. More angles, keep watching. I've seen plenty of angles. I haven't seen any angle where, because I don't, look, at the end of the day, if you're about to be ran over, I don't think shooting somebody is going to stop it from happening. Then why deny the other woman who said he did it without consent? Dennis Calhoun, he was going to deny no matter what we came up with. I mean, he favors Trump. Listen, the opposite of Trump derangement syndrome is basically just believing everything Trump says is true. There are people who would not give Trump credit if he cured cancer. And there are people that would give Trump credit if he actually created a cancer that was responsible for the deaths of millions. They would still ride with him. So there's both sides to that. Simply put, Trump's handling of the pandemic could fall in that category. His handling of the pandemic was horrendous. People rode with him. Federal regulations say they are not supposed to shoot into a moving vehicle if it's the vehicle is the only weapon that causes fear of life, if they have a way to get out of the way. Well, the problem is he has plausible deniability by simply just saying, I didn't think I had time to get out of the way. He can just come up with for cops, the phrase I fear for my life is like gold. If a cop says I fear for my life, people give wide latitude for whatever they do. They don't have to actually be fearing for their life. That's like a key phrase. Just say you fear for your life. It has a lot of power to it. Cop's job was to detain the woman, not step out of the way. She was ordered out of the car and then drove off at the officer. Technically, I don't have anything to disagree with that. I don't have anything to disagree with that. His job was not to step out of the way. He does not have a duty to retreat, but he does have an option to retreat. The law allows him to stand there and pop rounds off. But he has an option, if he wanted to exercise it, to step out of the way. That's why I keep saying he shot her. What he performed was an optional use of lethal force. He took the option. Let me go back to the box. We'll bring up the next guest here. I know what I'm hitting here.